from Los Angeles. Please welcome our best friend in our head, Taye Diggs, to the show. Hello. Listen, we all have signed up to be your best friend, so we'll discuss that in a minute.
All right.
I have so much to go through. The children's book, which I adore. Chocolate Me melted my heart, no pun intended, when you came out with that. And you have your new book. But we need to talk about your social media. There's one social website that called your TikTok Chaotic Comedy Gold. Now, you started on Twitter a few years ago. Everyone was begging Taye Diggs to follow them. Now they're begging you for more TikTok content. What is going on here?
I don't know. Look, I have a 12-year-old son who was on TikTok, and he told me that I should try to get on it. So I got on it, and I couldn't figure out how to work the lip sync sounds and put the music to the. So we started recreating our own versions of some of the trends that were happening, and we were just fooling around, joking and having fun. And it caught on. So now we're going to continue down that trend. My son usually shoots a lot of what I'm doing, and I gauge how good the video is by how hard he laughs.
So your 12-year-old is your director.
Yes, in most cases, yes. Walker, Nathaniel D.
Is there a challenge that you? So again, this is a live show. Backstage, Taye, we were trying to do the Beyonce drop one, you know, where it's on partition, and there I am. I'm like, dun dun dun. So, you melted farther down than I did. Is there a challenge you won't do?
I'm sure. I haven't been on it in a while, so I gotta check. My son's with his mother right now, but as soon as I get him back, I'm gonna check with him, and we'll figure out where to go from there.
Well, you know what? I know that you are a very private person, but I love how you just talked about how your son is with his mom. You've done such a beautiful job co-parenting and being open about that process. What made you comfortable to reveal that? Because, you know, I mean, you're a huge celebrity and people don't like to talk about the hard parts of parenting, and you've done that with the discussion on co-parenting.
Well, that's just something that is, I think, it can be difficult, you know, a separation, and then you add children to the mix. But I just want to kind of put out there that it's possible to come out on the other side and still have a good relationship with your child's other parent. And you know, when you're thinking of the child first, I think it makes everything else a lot.
That is so beautiful. I mean, speaking of your son, I know growing up, they say that we are our parents and hopefully better, right? We learn from the mistakes that they made and pick up where they may have left off. With your son, especially with the topics that you discuss in the books, race and faith and all of these things, when he comes to you, how do you approach a question that's tough? I don't know. Even these days, you have to talk earlier and earlier about sex. How do you deal with that with him?
Well, these days, that's a great question. Now that he's getting a little bit older, because I think, you know, the child's age everything is contingent upon, you know, what your child can kind of digest. But now I don't feel the need to always have a right answer or sometimes an answer at all. Now I'm okay with telling him some of these situations, which I get at in the book. They're uncomfortable, and sometimes I don't have answers, and you know, sometimes we're forced to kind of just be in that discomfort. And I think you know, a lot of times parents kind of run away from that.
Yeah.
They feel like they have to have, you know, an answer that's wrapped up in a pretty little red bow. But now that he's old enough to understand that, you know, life isn't perfect, and sometimes life can be very uncomfortable, and you know, he doesn't get it. I can say, well, let's try to figure this out together. I don't have the answers right now, and you know, sometimes life doesn't provide the answers. But if we can kind of get through this together, we can come up with something that'll allow us to keep moving forward.
Well, you've come up with a wonderful book. You teamed up with your best friend, and when we come back, the difficult conversation that sparked Taye and his best friend to create these amazing children's books. The best friend that we should all have, Taye Diggs, and his real best friend join us next after the break. Welcome back, Tam Fam. We're live, and today we're talking about the power of friendship, how it shapes us, challenges us to be our best selves, but also how to form new friendships and maintain them throughout our life. We are back with award-winning actor and author Taye Diggs. He joins us, his best friend, for over 30 years through high school, college, marriages, fatherhood. Basically, he knows everything about Taye. These two friends brought their talents together and their craft to storytell. His best friend is an accomplished illustrator, and they've collaborated on a children's book series that I absolutely adore and highly recommend. Talks about race, injustice, acceptance. Please welcome Shane W. Evans to the show.
What's up?
Hey, Shane. I love your shirt. It says Chocolate Me, one of the books that you created together with Taye. So 30 years is a long time, but it's basically you are the vault. You know everything. The question is, Shane, are you the weakest link? What can we get from you, Shane, that Taye won't tell us?
I think the one thing about friendship is there are things that you don't reveal, you know? And anything that we can reveal is like already known anyway.
That's right. Rule number one. Okay, so you passed the test. You are officially the best friend. 30 years. You met in high school. What drew you together?
Oh, my goodness. I used the word in an interview recently, kismet, but like, you know, we have this story that like he approached me in the hallway. That picture of us standing there is actually in the hallway of our School of the Arts. He approached me and asked me this odd question about like what I was. And I really didn't understand what he was saying, but he was trying to categorize me. Are you a prep? Are you like a B-boy or something like that? And to be honest, my response was, I'm just me. Oh. So it just wound up being that whole thread that drew us together is the thing that like keeps us motivated as friends.
I love that. So Taye, when you asked the question, what did you have in mind when you asked Shane, what are you?
Because he was, you know, at that time in school, everybody to me, and it was easier for me to kind of compartmentalize. What they were like the radicals who they wore the big combat boots and they would smoke in the back of the school. Then there were the preppies that had like the polo and the Ralph Lauren and and there were like the b-boys and there were dancers. And I saw this dude who had little aspects of all of these groups, and he was totally by himself, had this big bag on. And I was like, what group are you in? Like, who, you must fit into some group. And like Shane said, that really impressed me that he didn't feel the need to be a part of a group. He was just him. And because of that, you know, I watched him before I watched how he moved before we actually became friends. And people gravitated to this cat because, you know, he was his own energy. So I kind of learned from that and I try to keep that with me as I move through today.
I love that. That is, you know, we talk about, you know, meeting friends, but also maintaining. Obviously, when you get married and have kids, it's easy to have those things become your priority and your friendships can fall to the wayside just because life happens. Shane, when you started talking about collaborating, though, that's a whole different layer to the relationship. Why does that work for you? Because people lose friends by going in business with friends.
I mean, you know, that's a beautiful thing, I mean, that you just said, because it's this kind of like, maybe it's a cliche in some ways, because if you don't explore what that could be, then you, I guess you kind of thwart the idea that you could actually make it a success. So we have been, I laugh again because we have been collaborating from high school without the intention of trying to like, you know, what is success? People measure this in so many ways. We were just trying to harmonize for real. Like in high school, we just wanted to try to get those harmonies really tight. And then when we started creating books, I think we set the highest priority, which was to be honest about what it is that we wanted to express. I think a lot of it did have something to do with passing that legacy on to our children.
Yeah.
So that it's really something about the love. If you can put the love into it, then you surpass all the problems that other people might pitfall into. But there are a lot of family businesses and friend businesses that succeed. So, there's
Yeah.
one cliche, don't
Yeah.
do it, but then there's a whole bunch of cliches that are like,
Do
man,
it.
these
Do it.
folks are, yeah, they're incredibly successful at what they
I
do.
love it. I love that. Taye, the message of the book, as we talked about, is, and Shane just said something that really touched my heart about love, and we can lead with love. That is a healing thing. And talk about cliches, Shane. That's a cliche we say, but it's hard to activate it. And it starts with our kids. When you first showed this book, Taye, to Walker, your 12-year-old, what did you hope would be his response, and what was his response?
Well, before I showed him the book, we actually had a few conversations about what was going on, in society with Black Lives Matter. So that's kind of what prompted the book. After I wrote it, I just wanted him to give his blessing. Because with him, he can tell if I'm trying to fish,
Yeah.
and he's like, if I'm trying to fish, he's not going to give me what he thinks I need. But I just said, "What do you think?" And he said, "It was good, Dad. It's really, really cool. It was really, really deep."
Did
So
you
that
cry?
was,
I think I would cry. I would have burst into tears to have my child love something I created in that way. That validation.
as cool as he is, he makes fun of me when I cry, and he rolls his eyes. He's like,
funny,
"Are you crying again?" Dad?" 'Cause we watch a lot of TV together, and he's really not having it. He's a jock too, so
Oh.
he can be, yeah. So sometimes he's not as sensitive as I would like, but
Okay, before I get because I got your best friend
yeah.
here. Shane,
Yeah.
is Taye the person you predicted he would be when you met? Did he turn out the way you thought?
I mean, to be simple about it, yes, and then some, to add something to it. And we do reflect upon a moment where I asked him. I said, what do you want to do? We finished because we went to college together too. And he was like, I want to be famous. I remember this moment, like, because he was serious about it too. And I remember thinking to myself at that time, I don't have any reason to question this. There's no reason for me to be like, or push back or be like, man, that's nonsense. That's your parents talking.
Yeah.
Those like parents that want you to do like the thing that's practical. When he said it to me, it inspired me. It was like, you know what? Yeah, that's what's up. We can do this.
Oh my gosh. Y'all are friends gold. Listen, congratulations on the book. Congratulations on the beautiful friendship. You know how many people you will inspire today? And Taye, how many hats do you own? I'm just being nosy. I can keep going on and on. I'm out of time, but they're like, Taye's got to go right. How many hats do you have, sir?
I have no idea. I got hats and sneakers. That's my thing. Yeah. I don't know.
All right.
Lots though. Plenty.
Plenty. Well, you have plenty of love in your life with your Walker, your son, and Shane, your friend. And congratulations on the book. The book is on my child's bookshelf. I recommend it for you. The newest book, Why? Available now.